today we are going to be looking at a game that's a real blast from the past for me. Alex the Kid is the first ever game I ever played. Now, this is not the version that I own. I own this on my original Master System 2, which ironically still works to this day, which is very, very cool. I've got a lot of fond memories of this game. This is a very different. This is the same game, but they've kind of remastered it. They've kind of added a story and stuff to it to some degree. It's the same game essentially. And Alex the Kid was kind of the franchise that sort of it kind of disappeared once Sonic came on the scene. He was kind of just dumped basically by Sega. I mean, Sonic's a much better character generally, but you know, Alex deserves his dues. He was the first sort of Sega mascot, I guess you could say. It's kind of an odd one, to be honest. Now, this has also been completely, the graphics have all been remastered. This is actually different to the original game. I don't know if there's a way to change it back to the... So this is the original. This is how the original game looked, but they've added in, like, in the original game, which I've got on Master System 2, which I've got it built in to the actual system, and it still works. They've made some changes. I don't quite understand these changes. I don't actually fully understand why and what these changes actually are, to be honest. But all I will say is that you have to hit them, otherwise you get ghosts that appear and stuff. They've done quite a good job with this, actually. I actually own this on PlayStation 3, but it's a different version. It appears this is like it's like a more remastered version. Now, here's an interesting thing. On the... How do I access the... No. Oh, here we are. So on the Master System version, you had to hit the pause button, basically to enable... Okay, so that's the remake. How do I... Oh, okay, here we go. Maybe you can't do it on this version. On the original version, what you could do is you had to hit the pause button. Now, the way to hit the pause button was to... the pause button on the Master System 2, ironically, is actually on the system, not on the where you'd imagine it would normally be. Oh, that's so basically, I've done it now. So I've got the flame attack now. So literally, you'd have to hit the pause button, which was built on the Master System. It wasn't on the pad, like on a lot of like the NES. Obviously, the NES had it, but the Master System was a very interesting system. As I said, like it's the first system I ever owned. And the only reason I'm playing this version is because this is kind of more nostalgic. Obviously, you know, for so many times, nostalgia is a very powerful thing. Maybe, oh shit, maybe too powerful in some regards. But I have a lot of fun memories. This is not what I'd define as an amazingly great game. It's not certainly not a bad game, but it's a game. It is very much a game of its time, I guess you could say. It's also not a very forgiving game either, as you can see. Okay. Right, run, 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 run. Oh, that's not good. So basically, if you get to the end of the game and you don't run over them things, literally the ghost will come and kill you, basically. What is that? See, all this stuff here wasn't in the original game. I don't know what the reason for why they've added that is exactly, but it's kind of weird. As I said, like Alex the Kid was never like it was never on the level of like Sonic in terms of its pop. What the hell is that? Of its popularity, but I always did adore the original Alex the Kid game. I never played any of the others. I've played them since on like some of the Mega Drive collections, but this is one that I have a great deal of sort of memories of. I was about what? I think I started playing this when I was about 5 years old. which makes me feel really old because I turned 40 last year. So, um, but yeah, I've got a lot of fond memories of this. I always envied those that had NESs because Mario was just sort of, I guess you all sort of envied the things you didn't have. I guess you could say it was never really made any logical sense that, but it was Mario was the big in thing, Nintendo were the in thing. So when I got an N64, for instance, like I felt, it was cool. It was a different sort of thing. But Alex the Kid just he just never really he was never able really to go anywhere else other than down. He had a couple of games after this. I think there was two or three. There was one in Alex the Kid in Shinobi World that god damn, you won't jump. Uh, and that never really went anywhere. He had one in, is it Technical World or something, if I remember correctly? But I never actually played them. I only ever played this one on the Master System. And this is not an easy game. As you've seen, I've died on several occasions with this. But there's something about this. I don't quite know what it is exactly. Let's switch to the... They've done quite a good job with this, though. This does look quite impressive, actually. But it's not a forgiving game at all. Wait for it, wait for it. And obviously you've got a thing called janking in this, which is like a... It's, oh, for the... Not... What's the... I can't remember what it's called now. The thingy game where you have the scissors, paper, and all that. I can't remember what it's bloody called off the top of my head now. Oh, this frog was a night. As a child, this frog gave me nightmares. It was really difficult to deal with him. It's not actually that hard. As in, Lee gets himself killed saying that. There we go. Oh, this twat. I remember this one vividly. No, you don't. No, you don't. Oh, what? As you can see, it's very much a very unforgiving game. I've I own this on PS3, but obviously not this version. So this is obviously some type of the DX remastered version, which is kind of weird because I've I've never been able to finish this because it's just so goddamn hard. It's hard like from the perspective of it's very much in some ways the same sort of vein as Mega Man, which is truly an absolutely evil game in terms of its difficulty. It's one game I've never ever really got into, to be honest. Alex the Kid. I don't. Oh, you twat, and I'm dead. Bullshit. Uh, this is shockingly how difficult this has become. But as I've never really finished this game. I got quite far when I was playing the PS3 version because I had the ability to save, which... What's this? Oh, that's the cover art. Cool. You can't open it up though. Wow. This looks immense. But they've made a lot of changes to this. Like the graphics on obviously this version with the remastered graphics look very, very impressive. Just to show my gameplay skills on this are not as good as they used to be. There's a few of those types of games that you never really finish as children, or you never finish ever, because they're just so unbelievably unforgiving. And there's a few of them out there. It looks good though. It's got a nice consistent frame rate. Oh, Never managed to do that before. I still prefer the way it used to look to the original version. Nostalgia is both a good thing and a bad thing. I suppose it sort of lures you into a sort of a false sense of nostalgia. I used to get so irritated with some of these old games. Used to really wind me up as a child. There was one I had on my system called Action Fighter that had the same sort of deal. It was really goddamn hard. Never did finish it. And the Master System's actually a very cool system to collect for because most of the games are fairly simplistic, but there's a few on there that are expensive. Not many, but there are a few. As I said, I've never finished this. I've only ever I think I've got quite far, but see, I don't remember that water being there. I must admit, obviously, the remastered graphics do look a lot more appealing. Hello there. We have one of them. Thank you very much. Yeah, one of them. And whatever that is. Have I sold out? It would appear I have. Oh, no, no, no. Oh. Um, as you can see as a child, it is one of those games that can kind of make you really, really mad. It's kind of what we had though in the 90s though. It was a very, very different time. We talk about like, how what gaming's like now. I mean, gaming now is it's better in a lot of aspects just because you've got so much more choice and you're not limited by what you can play and what you can't play. I had Alex a Kid. This is built into Master System 2 along with Wonder Boy 3 The Dragon's Trap, Action Fighter, Golden Axe. See, th those were not in the original game, and this is the original graphics. So I don't know exactly why they're in this version. I don't know what the reason behind that is exactly. It's kind of weird. But so yeah, so and what else? I had Golden Axe One, which was a really janky version of Golden Axe on the Mega Drive version. Well, I think it's only one player. It was like the frame rate was a lot lower than the Mega Drive version. I had Shadow of the Beast, which I despised with a passion. I really hated that game. I had a fan favorite that people love that I can't stand, which was Space Harrier. I thought it was the biggest load of shite I've ever played. I was so disappointed. I got Action Fighter, Shadow of the Beast. Um, was it GP Rider? Was another one I got them all from Toys R Us, I think it was. And I got a lot of stuff in the early 90s from cash converters. My family were not that we weren't exactly that well off, so stuff like that. But it was a fun time that our first original system. Oh, we got the puzzle game now. So it's janking. This is pure luck though, whether I'll actually win this. That's different. Oh, what? Not good. Oh, I won it. I didn't realize I This is weird, man. It's just not quite the same game that I'm used to with that new graphics aesthetic and stuff. I'd like to just shout out and thank people that had a look at my Nintendo Switch 2 comparison video with the Nintendo Switch 1. It wasn't necessarily actually um, it wasn't something I was originally going to do, and I thought, well, you know, oh, I can't use it underwater. That's a shame. Oh, not the octopus. This thing used to give me nightmares as a child. I got very frustrated very easily with games as a child for some reason. Kind of grown up a tad more since then, but it always was an interesting one. Can we not hit it? No, apparently not. Oh, not these bloody things. They used to give me nightmares as well. Oh, ah! Feel myself getting more and more if I'm going to ignore these things. Sodom. Let's see how far I actually got on this, because I'm not 100% sure. I've got quite got the same abilities as I had between the ages of 5 and say 10 years old. I had a Master System for a very, very long time. As I said, my family we weren't that well off in the early 90s. Things got better later on, but initially everything was secondhand stuff, and that's just how you got by for a lot of people especially in the early 90s. I mean, I didn't get a Mega Drive until I played Mega Drives lots. My uncle had one, but I didn't own one until I think was living in Raynham, Kent area, so that would have been about 1994, I think, because I went to a school called Arden CP Junior School, and yeah, I just we never I remember getting my Mega Drive, and it was just such a difference. The original Sonic the Hedgehog, Streets of Rage, the getting to play the real deal, well, the much better version of Golden Axe, Rolling Thunder 2. I mean, there's so many games in that back catalogue, and I've got a couple of games I've been collecting since. But yeah, you look at the generations coming up now with gaming. Like I was around my sister's today, and I was talking to her and her husband about gaming, and it's just, I get it. I'm old. I get it. I accept that I'm old, but when I said to him, "Well, what are you playing?" My nephew's like, "Oh, Fortnite," and I'm like, "Oh, like everything is a service now, and it's just." I get it. It's the future, but it's just crap. It's just not. It just doesn't have the same sort of. That's different music. Yeah, that is not the same music from the original game. They've made some audio changes as well, which is kind of odd. You can get this on. I think this is part of the PlayStation uh, Plus collection, and my microphone for some reason keeps doing that. The PS5 like that's kind of bizarre. And if you're after a PS5, I'd have got one like last week because the prices have gone absolutely out at just insane. It's a very and it's not all their fault. That a lot of this can be blamed on the AI companies for the fact they're just ruining everything for everybody else. No one can have any fun because of their abject greed. But the good thing is that it's going to come back to bite them in the ass, I think, eventually. It's just like COVID, where prices went just through the roof. There's not a lot you can really do at the moment. Oh no, I didn't mean to do that. Oh, that's different. Yeah, as I said, like this was never. I wouldn't ever call this. It was like a Mario killer. You know what I mean? But it was a decent game nonetheless. Later on, this game gets absolutely ridiculously hard. As I said, I own this on PS3. I bought a port of it, and that port was just a basic version. It wasn't this remastered version, so just a bit annoying. I think really I should get like a free upgrade for that, but you know, that's just not how it works. Unfortunately, it's kind of annoying, but I don't play it enough to warrant it. If I'm honest with myself. They have made some aesthetic changes that look really, really good though. But it's just it's the same game, but it's got like a facelift, I guess you could say, which is kind of odd. What is that? Again, that's different as well. That maybe this is a video I should do a comparison on, but I don't know if enough people really care that much about Alex the Kid. It's one of those games that's not really remembered. I don't think it's necessarily remembered. It's not remembered fondly, but it is one of those games that just sort of you remember. Oh, you bastard! And that's kind of it, really. It doesn't really. It doesn't. I guess really. For me, I've got fond memories, as I've said, as I've gone on about. But for a lot of people, it's just not a game they've ever played. Master System was a very It was a very niche system. Ironically, in the US, it was massive. Hey, what was that? There it is. So that's the newest. That looks like the first Master System. Because I had the Mark II, which was the basic the cut down model. Where it only had, as I said, I've still got it. It's only got RF. That's the only output signal it does. Whereas the original Master System had RF. It also had um, AV out as well. So you had the red, white, and yellow, which is what I've been looking at for a capture device that I can use. Well, not a capture, the actual an upscaler, because like the Retro Tink is the only device I can find that captures that, but it's just so obscenely priced. There are some sort of Chinese knockoff I've been looking at. It's about 70 quid. I might be picking that up just because I want something that will give me the ability to capture. Because I've got an OSSC, which is a really good device, but unfortunately, it's just not much good. It only captures component and SCART, and then it goes HDMI out on the other end. So it doesn't capture anything more than that, which is kind of a shame in a way. Oh, it's making me feel sick, that. So I might be picking that up. I haven't just quite decided yet, but I want something that so I can capture like particularly N64 because I that's that is might be one of my favorite systems in terms of nostalgia, but because the games on it just look so rough. I mean, the N64 is a weird one because it's kind of like it has aged the worst in some ways in terms of the graphics because things like your draw distances on it are really quite rough and it doesn't look that good. I mean, I've done video. I've got like AVI to HDMI converters, but they do a really poor job of upscale. They don't upscale things properly. The coloration, the colors are out, so the contrast and everything's completely blown out on it. Um, and I will do a comparison video on that when I get the device because I do enjoy doing that sort of stuff, and people seem to have enjoyed the Switch 2 comparison video I did. And I've been doing more things in front of the camera, and it was weird at first, but I'm starting to get more comfortable being in front of the camera to some degree. Because before I only ever used to do things just in front of the behind the camera. I just felt more comfortable that way. But yeah. I'm also currently making my way through Tears of the Kingdom. I've just done the. Oh shit! Oh no 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 no! I've just done the. Is it the thingy boss? The the is it the desert dungeon in is it Gerudo Valley? I've just done that boss. So I've actually that was challenging actually. Only in that it was challenging more so because I had to keep chasing my characters that give you different abilities. Like one gives you the ability to have a water shield, and I had to keep running after him because he kept running away like a twat. It was so irritating. The boss itself wasn't that difficult, but I haven't played Tears of the Kingdom since properly since last year. And so when you go back to a game after a year, especially like with Tears, like it's quite a tricky one. Oh, that's different because in the original version you just have to see. This is different as well. You s I always assumed you had to punch him from behind and stuff. Hey, there we go. But it's a nice little game. It's from a simpler time. Um, I don't. This is different. Oh, it's this one. Oh, this one I used to hate. I used to really hate this one because it was quite difficult. But it was undifficult in like a really unfair way. It was never really Alex the Kid was never a fair game. It was always like you always sort of pitted against what you could do and stuff. That's different. I don't remember them. I hate these bloody things as well. The extra life, sweet. But so I've done quite a few different videos as videos of late, and obviously more in front of the camera and stuff. Obviously, retro collecting 2026. I am thinking about doing some comparison videos, like with like sort of like your Metal Gear Solid versus Metal Gear Solid Twin Snakes, stuff like that. Because I'm just sort of looking for some different types of stuff to do. I've also been messing around with oh shit, chat. Is it GPT in terms of like because like the toughest thing with YouTube, and obviously I do this as a hobby, but is like tagging your videos and stuff. They are quite challenging if you're not that well versed in it, and I'm not. I'm learning. I've been doing this since 2013, and even though I haven't got like a massive subscriber count, I'm very grateful for the subscribers I've got because I do work quite hard with this to try and get a bit of feedback and see what people enjoy and stuff. So it's it's generally very nice when oh that was close when I can get a bit of positive or just any just general feedback about what they think, what I can do with the channel. Please don't be a ghost. Hey, because I do I do enjoy that. So there's a certain sort of accomplishment there that I really do like. And plus, I mean, in an ideal world, I'd love to do this as a job. Obviously, that's not a realistic scenario for me, unfortunately. But I just keep at it and see where it leads. Basically, I've got really nothing more to lose. I think this level, I remember this level. This is one I've remembered, but Later on, you get the ones with the spikes on the main floors and stuff, and it's just evil. I wonder if there's any trophies. And obviously, the other big question going on right now is, oh, you are kidding me, really? What is going on with old Xbox in terms of they've kind of started going back to making what I would call at least but it would the perception is that they actually do care about gaming. Just well, obviously that's what is it Asha Sharma's trying to do. She does seem to be trying to. No, no, no. Just seem to be trying. Oh, you son of a bitch! Trying to get Xbox back to something because, as I said, that is like the worst possible place you could put me. Thanks, computer. Given the very, very, very poor standing Xbox has with its player base these days. It's pretty sad to see what they've become. So it is nice to sort of, oh man, it is nice to see them trying to get back in the good graces of people. Because as much as I thought Phil Spencer took on a lot of shit and stuff, they have, and I have done videos on this, but the videos have not done that well. I just think that. And then that's not to say that Sony's necessarily better. They've made some pretty poor ass decisions as well, to be honest. But not to the same degree as Xbox. Xbox really has, to some degree, ruined their brand. Whether they are able to do anything with their brand, I'm really not sure. I have had my Series X on because the Series X, ironically, because it's based on a Windows, well, I think it is, I believe so, it's based on a Windows operating system. It reads files better um, than, say, the PlayStation for some reason. And my microphone seems to keep coming on. I don't know why that is exactly. Oh, I remember this thing with a lot of not particularly fun memories. No, no, don't burn me. Okay, this is going to be tricky. Oh, you son of a. It's the thing about these old games, man. They really do test your patience at times. I remember when I discovered that I had to press the. How am I going to get out of here? That's not right. That's unfair. What? No, I'm not having that. Yeah, I remember when I first discovered that, and I was like really, really shocked as a child that you could do that. You could just press the pause button and then enable and get the ring. Because the fire ring type of thing does sort of make the game a lot easier. But it's one of those games that got a lot of like cheap ass deaths and that are really, really unfair. That's why I never liked, and I know there's a lot of people that love Mega Man, but I just could never get into Mega Man because I found it to be so utterly frustrating, and the deaths in it were really, really cheap. And I mean, it's Capcom. I really, really adore a lot of Capcom stuff, more so the Resident Evil stuff, Dino Crisis, that sort of survival horror genre in particular. Um, there's no one that does it better. Even though I do have uh, I'm not. I have what's the word I would use? I do find Silent Hill games to be fascinating. I don't really get into them though, if I'm honest with myself, in comparison to Resident Evil. I don't know what it is about Silent Hill. I don't think the games are bad or anything. I think they're really, really good, but they don't ever draw me into the same degree as Resident Evil. I think more so because the stories are do have a tendency to be a little bit more complex in some regards than Resident Evil. But Resident Evil Requiem, I I really enjoyed that game. It just, oh, you don't. It just had something, and no, oh, you sod. And also the controls on this are dead slippery as well. Not that I'm making too many actually, but he's a slip. No, 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 no. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. And we're dead. Jump, jump, jump. No, leave me alone. I'll pee off my. Oh, what? That's some grade A bullshit. That is. But yeah, they don't draw me in to the same degree. I'm not sure why that is exactly. But I've completely lost my train of thought now. But yes, I've got two. Is it remake 2 to play? I never finished the original Silent Hill 2 on PlayStation 2 either. I just didn't. It's a really, really complex game. It's a lot more difficult than Resident Evil in some regards, particularly the puzzles. It's one of those games where like I like it and I enjoy it, but I can never quite get into it in the same way that I get into Resident Evil. That might just be me just not being a very good gamer from that perspective. It's very much possible. But no, you don't. This is so cheap. Hey, have that, thank you. No, you don't. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. No, you don't. No, you don't. Not having me that quick easily. Got more jank to play. I could have sworn there was more boss fights in the original version on this. Maybe I'm just getting so old I just don't remember. But I remember this being the janking game isn't necessarily as easy as you would perceive it to be. It's quite challenging at times. It's just a game of chance. No, it's a draw. Okay. So he's done paper. He's going to go scissors. No. Okay, so we've both... If he's going to go scissors now, isn't he? So I'm going to go stone. It's the only thing he hasn't used. I knew it. Right, so we'll probably go back to... He'll go back to... I'm not sure, actually. Oh, what? Oh, and I'm dead. Let's try that again, shall we? Oh, what? So he's used paper. So it's got to be... And I'm dead again. This guy's kicking my ass. Let's do it the old-fashioned way. Yeah, whatever. See, this is different. I got it wrong. This is different. They've made some weird changes to this game that don't necessarily make any. And I'm dead. Assist mode. What's that then exactly? But anyway, I'm gonna leave it there because I think it's an interesting game. Alex a Kid, but it's kind of a product of its time. I have fond memories of it. It's very very. To me, it's a great game, but it doesn't live up to say like Sonic the Hedgehog, Super Mario Bros. It just never had that legacy behind it as such, and it was kind of before Sega had a real. Well, he was the first mascot Sega ever had. But it's just not, sadly, a mascot that people really necessarily remember to the same degree as Sonic the Hedgehog. And I'm not even that much of a fan of the Sonic now in terms of the modern stuff. I really don't like a lot of the modern 3D Sonics. I just don't find them particularly that much fun. But Alex the Kid, particularly this game, has got a special place in my heart. I remember it to the day I die. It's just imprinted in my mind. There's a few of those really old games, and I mean this game's what this is what 89 I think. So yeah, it's 30 plus years old at this point, which makes me feel very very old and ancient. Um, but I like the modern stuff as well. I've got a Switch 2 sat there. I've been playing through that. Even the Xbox is getting a bit of use now, more so for watching films and stuff. I haven't had Game Pass on that in a while. Maybe it might be time to get it back at some point. But anyway, Alex the Kid. If you've never played it, it's not something that you're necessarily missing out on not playing. But if you're interested in the history, the very early history of Sega, check it out for yourself. I think the Master System, I believe before the Master System 2, it was classed as the GS. I can't remember I've got a Sega history book somewhere. It was called the Sega GS 1000 or 2000. It was a system before the Master System, basically. Obviously, Master System's a system that was very, very popular in Europe. In fact, and I could be wrong on saying this, but I would argue this might be more popular than the NES or the NES, depending on how you would say it. In Europe, particularly UK, it was a massive system. More so because Nintendo didn't really, from my understanding, they didn't really push their system in Europe as much as they did the States. Obviously, that changed with the SNES, and obviously this is a system that kept going even in Brazil. I think it was still being produced about 2001 or something, which is crazy. When we was at like PlayStation 2, GameCube, and original Xbox generation. And I might have a new video coming up based around the original Xbox, because my sister-in-law is selling me one, uh, so I can actually mess around. Although ironically, I mess around with the system itself. Ironically, I sold all of those job lot games before because I didn't have any nostalgia for the original Xbox, but I might look at picking up those older games again. You like your Doom Freeze, those really uniquely interesting ports on original Xbox that I played on PC in the early 2000s. But anyway, Alex the Kid, have you played it? What do you think? And quick plug, I have done a little video on Star Trek Conquest on PlayStation 2. If you're interested, give us some feedback on it. Maybe check it out. It's not done particularly that well view-wise, to be honest. Because I thoroughly enjoyed playing through that. It's a very simplistic, but there's some kind of deep mechanics within the game, although it is very simplistic in terms of what you do is just build starships, or you can pick Romulan, Federation, Klingon. There's a variation of different races. I only know the basic ones in Star Trek, but I had a lot of fun playing through that. And I've also got I'm going to be doing Sonic the Hedgehog 2 on Master System. I'm going to be doing the 50 hertz versus 60 hertz comparison guide, because my last one I did for my channel did reasonably well, and I enjoyed filming it. So I will be doing that as soon as I can. And anyway, I've gone on far too long. Thank you for the time, and peace.